Welcome to episode 2 of the GB show. I think the first time I said the G and B show, but it's the GB show. Yeah. We've decided on what the podcast is called.
Hello again.
Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in again. It's been a crazy past few days getting this podcast out.
Yeah.
And it's now available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and the iHeartRadio podcast network. And it's also up on YouTube. It took a bit longer to get up on YouTube. We had some trouble with the YouTube video.
Any of those places, if you have those, maybe you can listen on there.
Yeah, so wherever you like to consume this content, it doesn't matter to us. And I actually had some people comment on the first episode.
Really?
So that my friend Lizzie at work, she left the first comment. She said that you are a natural storyteller. And my friend Deborah.
Why are we recording this part?
Well, because this is all part of the show.
Yeah, I guess.
You can see that we haven't really prepared much. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that I'm literally in my pajamas. It's kind of late, but we decided to do the show anyway.
Yeah, it's around like 10:45 p.m.
We want to make this into a habit, and we will talk about habits a bit later in this episode.
Yeah, but what we want to talk about first is Bitcoin.
So before we get there, Mimi left a comment. So she is very impressed with the first episode. She said that you sound very knowledgeable about the stock market, and she can't wait to hear more. And then Gulma, who is my sister, Amy, we call her Gulma, that's auntie in Chinese. She listened to the whole podcast, and she said that we sound very professional. So that's pretty much the entire listener base.
Yeah.
Oh, and Aunt Cindy. Do you know Aunt Cindy? It's probably been a long time since you've seen Aunt Cindy. But she was very impressed with you as well. And she agreed about your statement about the US food standards, which we agree it's a big problem.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for those kind words. Hopefully we can start every episode if we have more comments.
Yeah.
We can take questions or comments.
Yeah, read the new comments and stuff.
Yeah. All right, so should we start with the market recap?
Yeah, why not? Just talk about what's been happening.
So today I was looking at the stocks today, and it was kind of all up and down. So it's May 22nd today, and the day ended, I think the S&P was slightly down.
Yeah, it was like 0.5% down or something.
How was your portfolio?
Well, everything was basically down except for Walmart that I have.
Walmart? I don't have Walmart. I haven't been tracking Walmart.
Yeah.
I was annoyed because yesterday SoFi, which has been doing really well for me, I bought that.
How did it go?
I bought it a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was about $10. And then it went up to about 14. So I think I did, that's 40%.
That's good.
Did pretty well. But then it went down yesterday. And I wanted to buy some more yesterday, but for some reason I was using, the app that I was using didn't let me buy it because there's some time where if you sell stocks and you buy stocks again, the cash has to actually be in your account before you can use it again.
Yeah.
So I missed out on SoFi, and today it went up 3%.
Oh.
So I missed out on that. But I think some of the others, there wasn't a whole lot of change.
Yeah. Well, not much really happened in the stock market today. So, some went down, some went up. Yeah.
But what is May 22nd?
Well, I guess it's what some people call the Bitcoin Pizza Day. Well, like National Bitcoin Pizza Day, or what people call it.
So what happened? Why is May 22nd?
Should I explain it?
Yeah.
So in 2010s, a man bought 2 like large pizzas with $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, because he said, he was quoted and he said like, oh, this is pretty cool. I can tell my friends, oh, I spent this online money, this online currency on a real world, like good. And then so yeah, he paid the pizza delivery driver in $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, but now that would be worth over $1.1 billion.
So every year since 2010, they've been tracking the value of Bitcoin, and so the cost of that pizza goes up every year.
Yeah, so that pizza costed him $1.1 billion in today's price.
In today's Bitcoin value.
If only he kept it.
Yeah, or if only we bought Bitcoin back then.
Or if only you bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, so today, to celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day, you know Beeple, the artist?
Oh yeah, the artist that you saw.
Yeah, so Beeple is a guy called Mike Winkelmann who made his name through selling NFTs. And he sold an NFT for, I think, about $70 million.
That's crazy how NFTs sell for that much.
They did after, I think it was around COVID, when everyone's going crazy with NFTs.
I'm kind of confused why people value NFTs at such a high value.
That's probably a whole nother episode that we have to do some research on, and maybe we can tell everyone what happened with NFTs.
Yeah.
But anyway, Beeple is having a pizza party tonight. And it looks like a lot of fun, like all his events. So shout out for those of you who are at that party.
Well,
I couldn't make it tonight.
I don't know if anyone watching will really be there, but you know,
who knows?
Worth a shot saying. Yeah,
so Bitcoin actually, it's today it reached a new all-time high.
Yeah, just yesterday it was worth 110,000, but now it's worth 112,000.
Yeah, I think it touched. I have an alert from the Robinhood app, and it tells me when it hits a new high, and I think it did touch 112,000. But when you search on Google or look at the news articles, it says 111. So. But that's an all-time high with Bitcoin, which is kind of crazy. Since just a few, like last month, it went down to 79,000. So it's just very unpredictable.
Yep.
So there's a lot that you can make with Bitcoin, and there's a lot that you can lose. But I wanted to do an episode all on Bitcoin, but I don't know if I've understand it well enough to explain it.
Yeah.
Do you think you can explain it?
Probably not. Really.
No.
Well, like, it's kind of hard to explain because it's like a digital currency. Because, like, it's kind of confusing, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about how it's made. I know it comes from when blockchain technology.
Oh, I was told by a friend that it actually like there's separate cryptocurrency mining like rigs.
Yeah.
Apparently, like only exclusively for crypto.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's actually like a physical thing or if it's like a digital thing.
I think it's all digital, but you have physical hardware.
But he said it like affects like climate change and stuff somehow.
It's because it takes a lot of power.
Yeah.
So just
And he always says like, Bitcoin and like other cryptocurrencies like affect climate change.
Yeah. Same with AI. AI takes a lot of power.
Yeah.
So in some ways that's bad for the environment because you always hear about how much energy is required to power these AI servers and all these AI computers. So every prompt that you give ChatGPT, it goes off, sends off to these servers, and there's all this processing that happens to do all the research in, a few milliseconds.
Yeah.
And it spits out the response. There's a lot of power that's required to do that.
Yeah. But Bitcoin, it's pretty hard to explain on its own, and cryptocurrency as a whole, kind of.
Yeah, so I think once we do our research, maybe that's something that we can spend an episode on.
What if we talk about AI in a separate episode?
I can talk more about AI.
Yeah, you probably can.
Yeah, AI it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane how smart it is by now.
So for the main topic today, we wanted to talk about habits. Specifically, good and bad habits. And we're trying to start a new habit with this podcast.
Just posting podcasts. So we looked up, and we saw that the average amount of podcasts that someone uploads until they stop is actually 20. So we may want to try to get past that so we can,
I mean, if you think about every time that someone has said, hey, we should start a podcast, or I want to start a podcast, if you take all those people and then see how many of them actually do start a podcast.
Yeah, but we actually did.
Exactly. We're already probably in the top 1% of people who have wanted to do a podcast. Probably less than the percent, to be honest, because people always say they want to start a podcast. Everyone wants to start a podcast.
It's either two things. They say, I want to start a podcast, and then they actually do it, but then they quit pretty early, or some people do actually make it, and they make it further, but that's a really low percent of people.
Yeah, so I think starting is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So we've done that. We have one episode of this podcast.
We have the whole setup, everything.
Yeah, so we set this up, but now if we can keep this going and hit 20 podcasts, then we've met the average, because he said that's the average.
Yeah, that's the average amount that people post before they quit.
Yeah. So,
which is surprisingly higher than I thought.
Yeah, I thought it's higher than I thought too. I would have thought that people would burn out much sooner. So if we can make, because when I heard it was 20 episodes, I was like, oh wow, that's a lot of episodes that we gotta do. But
it's fun,
It is fun, and we have to make it so that it turns into a habit where we just, some of these podcasters are doing multiple, 3-4 podcast episodes a week.
Yeah.
So they're kind of in the habit where they just have everything set up. It's really easy. So it's consistently delivered on time. But to develop that habit is actually really hard, and you have to be very intentional to do it.
So now you want to maybe dive deeper into different good and bad habits.
Well, what are some good habits that you have that you think that you want to keep going?
Well, I'm not completely sure. Obviously, there's the basics, being able to do things on your own, being able to be more independent, which I'm learning to do more as I'm growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, are there any habits that you have that you're trying to keep going as long as you can?
Well, the one that I've started back in February is working out every day.
Yeah.
And that is something that I've never done in my entire life. I think I did one 21-day fix program, which is from a company called Beachbody, where they give you 21 workouts. So there's one workout a day for 21 days. I think I did that once, maybe, I don't know, almost 10 years ago.
But now you're changing, because now you're working out a lot more, because I wouldn't see working out that much
never. You wouldn't have seen me work out ever.
Yeah, but now whenever we go to the pool for my swim practice, they actually have a pool, and then you usually, while I'm doing swim practice, you usually go and work out.
Yeah. So do you know when I started working out?
Not really.
It was February 17th.
You know the exact date?
Because it was President's Day. Isn't that February 17th?
Yeah.
So remember when we worked out? Because you were talking about working out. And then...
Wait, when?
February 17th.
Well, what do you mean we were talking about that?
Because you wanted to work out, so we started working out.
Where?
In my room, upstairs.
Oh, yeah, in the, workout room.
Yeah. And so from that day... I just kept going.
Yeah. Do you actually enjoy working out, or is it just a thing you want to? Is it for change, or is it you actually enjoy it and it's like a thing that you find fun?
No, I don't find it fun at all.
Really?
I don't like it. No, that's why I never did it, and it wasn't even most people for their New Year's resolution.
Wait, you don't find it fun now?
No.
Really?
No.
Wait. Then what emotions do you experience while you're working out? Or just I want this to be over?
Yeah, working out is painful.
Well, yeah, you're going to get a burn, but
And I don't like feeling sweaty, and I don't like having to shower. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, I just showered, and it just takes a long time. And I think for my whole life, I've always had other things that I've wanted to do with that time.
Well, what motivates you and gives you the drive to keep working out?
So now, because of that day when we started, I worked out the day after, and then I worked out the day after that. And then I just thought, well, I may as well just keep this going. And I wanted to see for myself, how long can I keep it going? And I just never stopped. So now it's more about discipline. So I've found a time in the day.
Are you trying to be healthier, kind of?
Well, I'm in my 40s. I don't know if I said that before on the podcast, but...
Does he look 40?
For those on the YouTube, watching on the YouTube video.
Or does he sound 40?
Let us know in the comments. Do I look my age? No, when you get to your 40s and me realizing that, physically it's probably downhill from here. And so... Yeah,
it only gets kind of harder.
There's only so much longer where, I'll have my body in this shape and being able to do the things that I can do now. In 10 years' time, it's going to be harder to do what I can do now. So
yeah, but when you're older, you may look back on it and be like, hey, I'm glad I disciplined myself, and I'm glad I did this, and I did change, and I changed myself, and I changed my habits.
Yeah, so that's one thing. And this book by James Clear, this book is called Atomic Habits. I really highly recommend this book because it has a good framework. I mean, I think he actually calls them laws for building habits. And this really helps get you into that mindset of doing, building a good habit and how to keep it going. So the 4 laws that he has in the book, his first one is make it obvious. So if you want to start working out in the morning, make it easy. So you put your
so you can make a schedule ready. Or get ready, make everything
Yeah, so you're prepared to do it. Like this podcast, we left the microphones up, we left the camera up.
So we left the equipment here.
Yeah, so even though it's really late now, it's probably bedtime, but Grayson doesn't have school tomorrow, so that's why we're doing this. We could quickly set up and do this episode.
Yeah, it's more convenient.
Yeah, so we made it obvious. We set it up so it's easy to start. Second law is make it attractive. So make it enjoyable. So I think, doing this podcast, it's kind of fun. Working out it's not enjoyable for me, but but it's much easier if it's fun to do. So that's kind of why, that's why we're doing this. law number 3 is make it easy. So how can you reduce that barrier so that you can just maybe if I'm not feeling like I want to do a full workout for an hour, maybe I'll just do 15 minutes. So every day I don't do the same, full workout.
Yeah.
If I'm tired, then I'll be like, okay, I'll just dial it back a bit, but I still do something.
Yeah.
So I can adjust, what I want to do. And then number 4, make it satisfying. So you have to have that...
like the right motivation.
Yeah, something that makes you come back.
That makes you like, all right, I want to do this so I can achieve this.
Yeah, so for me, after working out now for pretty much 3 months straight, I'm now starting to see the results. And that's what habits do. You have a small habit, you keep going. Like when you work out for the first time, you're not going to see any difference.
Yeah.
But if you do it over a long period of time, then you start seeing the results. So that's my motivation. Is like, I don't want to start over. If I quit, I have to start again.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of have some momentum.
But do you think if you quit working out, then you won't be able to get the same like motivation as you did before to keep working out or to work out again?
If I quit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I did that 21-day fix, I think it was around 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Probably. And then I stopped. Well, 21 days. So I did one each day for 21 days. And then it became like 3 times a week. Then it became like once a week. Then it was like never. And then it was like 10 years passed. I never worked out. So yeah, it's much harder to start after like you have a long period.
So you say there's a reason why you stopped?
Probably because I didn't enjoy it and I wasn't seeing the results and I kind of had other things I want to do.
But do you know if you were doing anything to diminish the progress of your workouts at that period of time?
No, I was just following the program. Well, one of the problems was it's called 21-day fix. So once you've done the 21 days, you kind of feel like you finished. So you just kind of pat yourself on the back and you're like, oh, that's good. I did 21 days. And then you
the thing is also, it's kind of like you got to also be like doing the right things with your body. You got to be eating right. You got to.
I wasn't really doing that. So that's the other thing this time round. I've gotten into the protein shakes. I have the creatine.
Yeah.
I've gone full fitness gym bro, which is hilarious.
Because you used to like make fun of it. You used to be like, oh.
I still make fun of it. And I think it's funny because it's so not me going to the gym and like even wearing hats is not me. I only just started doing this. But yeah, I'm evolving. I'm turning into a gym. I'm turning into a gym finance bro.
Like a Pokemon.
That's just where I'm at.
You're evolving
right now. I am evolving.
Yeah.
I think it's important to keep evolving. So yeah, Atomic Habits, really, really great book. It kind of resonated with me. I want you to read this. See if you can read this over the summer. I'll be very impressed if you did.
I'll just flip through it.
You can read it. Start reading it now. Another thing that James Clear does is that he has a newsletter.
You want me to read this?
Well, read it over the summer. You don't have to read it right now. But he has a newsletter that I subscribe to, and every Thursday he has like 3. It's called the 1, 2, 3 newsletter. 3. So he gives you 3 just good tips every week.
Like, does he mail it?
Yeah, email.
Oh, I thought you meant like in person.
That would be cool, but no.
Handwritten by him?
That would be a lot more expensive. But there was a quote today that I will read this to you.
Okay.
Time will multiply whatever you feed it. So good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. So if you have good habits and you put time into those good habits, it's going to help you out, like working out. If you put time into it, then it helps you.
Yeah.
If you have bad habits and you put time into that, like what's a bad habit? For me, I have a bad habit of going to bed way too late, and I'm going to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you keep doing that over time, if I keep not getting enough sleep, like we're both tired now.
Yeah, kind of.
But
we're still recording it.
We're still powering through because we're disciplined.
Yeah. But it's probably not good.
Yeah. But Grayson did his swim meet, mock meet.
Yeah, it's called a mock meet. We basically, in like simple terms, we swim against our own teammates to like try to help us. It basically simulates a real meet, like a real swim meet against a different swim team.
Yeah, and then you had swim practice today, so it's just been a very.
My legs are tired.
Yeah, it's been a long week, and for me, getting this podcast out onto all the platforms and all of the work that's involved to do that's why I've been going to bed so late this week, just for the past couple of days.
I respect it.
Well, I mean, it's fun. That's what keeps bringing us back. All right, so let's wrap up this episode with the one thing.
One thing.
This is where we end the episode with one thing that we are excited about.
Are we gonna keep the one thing in for all the next episodes?
I said that we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, we don't know how long this whole podcast will last.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm excited about. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that I have these microphones set up. So the original plan was to use these much smaller microphones. I bought a Hollyland Lark M2S microphone.
Did they sponsor you or something? Why are you saying the whole title?
That's another.
Why are you saying
I
the
wish
whole
they
title,
would
man?
sponsor this podcast.
Yeah, why are you saying the whole name?
But anyway, I bought this wireless microphone that you just clip onto your shirt, and it's really easy to set up. But unfortunately, one of the microphones didn't work, so they're sending me a replacement.
Why don't we just continue to use these?
Well, because this takes up too much space.
Come on. But they're good, though.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's the thing that I'm excited about getting in the mail, is that repaired microphone.
Yep.
What about you? What's your one thing?
The one thing that I'm looking for is me getting out of school, because I get out of school next Friday, so in 8 days. Mm-hmm. So, but the thing is, we really only have like 3 days of school left.
Yeah,
because we have like 4 days off, and then like a half day or something, or whatever they call it, and then it's like the end of the day, like the end of the year, like field day thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited for school to end and summer to start.
And then when summer starts, that's when all of our schedules just go completely out of the window and it's chaos.
No, it's not chaos. It actually helps me get like better schedules, you know?
Oh, well, we can start good habits.
Well, I go to sleep at 3 a.m. and I wake up at 10.
Let's try and make a good habit of going to bed at a reasonable time.
Nah.
And then getting up at a reasonable time.
Maybe in summer. Just maybe.
Well, we're going to keep this podcast going throughout the summer.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun.
Most likely.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you again for listening. Again, you can get this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Thanks
YouTube.
for listening to episode number 2.
And if you enjoyed it, leave a review.
Yeah.
And give us a 5-star rating.
Or if you're listening on YouTube, why don't you subscribe?
Yeah, hit subscribe, hit the like button, do all those things.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.